This is Carl from National RV Detroit. I'm going to walk you through your 2022 Flagstaff MAC tent trailer, model number 176 LTD. Okay, so this is just a how-to video. I'm not going to show you how to raise and lower it. The manufacturer's video is better than anything I could do, and it tells you everything you need to know when it comes to that sort of thing. Keep in mind that your awning, all the poles and everything you need is stored in the awning rafter. So after you roll it out, you're going to fold the poles out of it and set it up. It's all self-contained. The only thing that's not in it is two stakes if you wanted to stake the two main vertical poles to the ground. Okay. Now with this one, it's best to use the poles, how should I say, it's best to have the poles coming straight down vertically than to have them stuck to the side of the trailer into here. You can do that, but it's much better if you go straight down and then you use a stake. Okay. So your cooktop, which stores, we're still cleaning here, so we got a lot of stuff laying around here, but it actually stores on this rail right here. So when you're traveling, this will be there. But you can see that this hole here, let me do it this way, excuse me, sorry. So this hole right here, you can pull the gas line, the LP line, through there and hook it up right here. You can use it sitting right here. Now most of the time, most people, they'll use it outside. So in that case, you're going to hang it right on this rail right here, and then you're going to pull this through. It's the same LP line. It's the one that goes inside. You just pull it through and plug it in that way. So 3 positions: outside to cook, inside to cook, and then stow underneath the table there when you're traveling. Okay. All right. So we have a power winch for the roof. Goes up and down. Always make sure that these are unlatched before you raise it. Whoever works the switch on there is responsible for looking around to make sure all 4 of these are released. Just because somebody tells you they are, you want to see it yourself, okay? That's important because you don't want to damage it. Now you have a deep cycle marine battery and an LP tank, a 20-pound tank, and there's your tongue jack right there. Okay. This is your right here. This is where your sink drains out. It's just a 3/4 inch fitting. You can hook a hose on there and direct it wherever you want. This is the city water hook up here. If you got city water, you just put the hose there, turn it around, and it works. It works fine. If you don't have plumbing on the campsite, you can fill the fresh water tank right here and use the onboard pump to pump it. I'll show you the pump switch when we get inside. So even if you have to carry water with you, you can still pressurize the system just like you had city water. This is just prep here. If you wanted to add an air conditioner, that port is used in the prep. That's all it is. You've got a 30-foot, 30-amp cord with a reducer, so you can reduce it down to a 20 amp, so you can plug it in at home in your garage or driveway, whatever, if you need to. This is the controls for the refrigerator right here. So this is very simple. It just fits on like this, and then you just sort of whack the corners to get it in place, and then turn these horizontally like these are. So that's pretty straightforward. This particular refrigerator is a 3-way. It runs on 110 AC, which is regular household current, right? We're plugged in right now, as you can see. I've got it turned on right there, the green one, and so we're all set. The refrigerator is heated up cooled down and working. Like it states here, though, only use 1 energy source at a time, never double up. Okay, the next one to do would be 12 volt. That runs off your battery, and your battery would be being charged by your tow vehicle. If you do that, always, and you're towing it, always unplug it from the tow vehicle if you're leaving it hooked up during the night, for example, because it'll draw your battery down on this one. Then it'll go after it can go after your tow vehicle's battery, depending on how it's wired there. So keep that in mind. And then the next one is you can light it on LP gas. So you would just go to high right there. This is the window where you can see the pilot light, and basically you're going to depress it and spark it, just like that, and then it lights. You hold it in for a few seconds after it lights, then you go to operating temperature and it'll run on LP. Okay. 9 times out of 10 you're just going to be hooked up at the campground using 110 AC. Okay. So 3-way refrigerator. Okay. So let me move on a little bit here. You've got regular scissor type stabilizers on the rear. This takes a 3/4 inch crank that comes with the trailer, or you can use a 3/4 inch socket on a drill if you choose to. Your door, your travel door, is stowed here, as you can see it. Okay. All the lights are LED, inside and out. Alright, so we'll start right here. So this is your, obviously this is your sink right here, and it only has cold water. There's no hot water heater on this one. So if you're using city water, you see the arrows pointing this way, so this is the knob for city water. If you're pumping out of the tank, you'd use this one to turn it on and off, okay? Always screw this down when you're getting ready to stow it, because when you flip this over, like so, flip it all the way over, you don't want any water that's in the trap or anything to leak out and make a mess on your floor. You have some storage here, just for soft stuff mainly. Your refrigerator, of course, is right here. Like that. Now, there's a little latch here, if you can see it. There's 2 grooves in it. One of them holds it shut all the way. The other one holds it open just about a 1/4 inch. So when you're not using it, you can keep it cracked a little bit, and it won't. You won't get that refrigerator smell. Not as bad anyway. Okay. This is your thermostat for your furnace. It's very simple. It clicks to the left to shut it off. Right. You'll hear it click here. So I clicked it on. It lights automatically. You don't have to do anything. It'll light for you. When you shut it off, you click it to the left like this, and right now when I did that, the flame went out right when I did that, but it's still going to take a minute or 2 to cycle through before it turns off. Okay, that's supposed to happen. That's normal. Let me see here. So obviously your table, you can pull the legs off and set the tabletop on these cleats here. There's 4 of them, and you turn this into a bed if you need to. This is your water pump switch. Remember I told you you could pump water out of the fresh water tank with water pump, right, using this switch right here. This also is used when you winterize the trailer. When you're drawing antifreeze, and you'll use the water pump too. Okay. This is your carbon monoxide LP gas detector, and it's also a low battery alarm. So you can see it's green now. It should always be green. I'm going to put it through the paces here. LP is good. Carbon monoxide coming up. There you go, and low battery alarm. Then it goes back to green. So if it goes off, obviously you take everybody outside, leave the door open, shut the gas off, and figure out what's going on. If it starts beeping very, very slowly, it's telling you your battery's low. Okay. This is your power converter right here. It converts 110 AC to 12 volt DC. So when you're plugged in, you got circuit breaker just like you'd see at home here, right? And they're labeled. And then the power is converted to 12 volt DC over here. So you got 12 volt fuses, and they're labeled. If they were to blow, they'll actually light up, I think, and they can glow. I think this one does. I shouldn't say that because I'm not 100% positive, but nevertheless. The other thing about this is a battery tender, so that if the 12-volt side continues to monitor your battery, and if it's low, it'll send as many amps as it needs to keep it charged up. If it's topped off, it'll just trickle a couple. If it's low, it'll send 10 amps or whatever it needs to keep your battery charged as long as you're plugged in. So when you're going down the road, obviously your tow vehicle's alternator will be charging the battery, and when you're plugged in, this power converter will be charging the battery. All right, let me get up here. That is the crank that I told you about. Obviously that's a fire extinguisher, obviously. These right here are heaters, or it's better to call them warmers for the mattress. Now, if you look over here, first of all, I want to tell you, once you get your trailer home, take this plastic off. Because if you don't, at some point, water's going to get underneath it, and it'll rot it out. It'll just make it a mess. So you want to take this plastic off once you get it home and start to use it, okay? Also, you see this little plastic port right here, right there. This plugs in there, and then the other end goes to the nearest 110, and then you've got a little analog thermostat here to set the temperature. It's not going to make these things hot. It'll just take the chill out of them, okay? So you got two of those, one for each mattress, and of course a spatula. All right. This is just literature. Everything in here has some kind of paperwork, so you can read it over that way. I told you about this, where it stows and everything, and where it hangs, but you're just going to light it with a lighter. You'll turn the knob and you'll light it. It's that simple, okay? Be very careful when you're in the tent, of course. You got to be careful of if it's windy outside, be careful of the curtains blowing over the flame or whatever, anything like that. Just be careful. It's really best to use it outside, in my opinion. Although if you're careful, it's no problem. All right. This is this is the original pouch for the shore cord there. That's all it is. You can use it for whatever you like. Another thing, these are safety bars. There's only two of them. There's only two of them, and each one goes in a corner. They go kitty corner from each other. So all this is, people will give you a million reasons or a million ideas of what it's for, but really it's just in case. It's just in case. Let me get over here. You always put them kitty corner from each other. It doesn't matter which ones you do it. I'm going to do it here because the door's in the way over there. So you just slide down here like this. It's very low tech. Goes in here like this. Get that out of the way, of course. I came with one hand. Sorry about the camera work. There we go. And then you just wham it on. So what that does is gets added strength to the roof. If you're in the woods, so if a branch breaks on a tree, for example, and hits the roof, this gives it a lot more support, and it won't collapse on you, or it'll take a lot more force to collapse it. It's just one of those things. You're in the woods, whether you're in a tent or a trailer or a tent trailer, whatever. But this just gives you more support. Like I said, there's only two of them. They go kitty corner from each other. Alrighty. Okay. This is the obviously just a vent. That's also where you would put the air conditioner if you were to add an air conditioner at some point. Okay, this I'm just gonna put this battery in now, so we don't forget. There we go. So let me look around here. I think I pretty much covered it all. The rest is just storage. I mean, there's storage underneath here. For example, you can pull it up and you can store underneath the seat. Okay. All right. So I want to thank you for purchasing your trailer here at National RV Detroit. And one thing to always remember is you want to check the seals on the trailer. So any place you see caulk from the factory, you're going to inspect regularly, several times a year, just as you're going by it, as you're getting ready to bring it up and down. You pay special attention outside to the vent. I showed you the vent here. Where it attaches to the roof up on top, there's got to be sealant around it. So it's important to look at that. Also, you can't see it really good here, but you see the black plastic corner caps? You want to look at the sealant around those. Make sure it stays nice and solid, no cracks or separation. If you do, don't use hardware. If you're gonna touch it up, don't use hardware store caulk. Make sure you get something called Clear Pro Flex from an RV place. That's what it takes. And just any place you see caulk from the factory, you always want to make sure it's good and tight. That's very important. If you do that, this thing will be bone dry, 15 years from now, for example. But if you don't keep after it and you let it a crack develop, for example, in the, let's say, one of the corners of the roof, you're going to get water inside the building material, and it's going to degrade it. So you always want to. This doesn't just apply to pop-ups. It's every trailer ever made. So make sure you spend a little time and look it over on a regular basis. The manufacturers tend to say every 3 months, but just give it a look at it. If you're setting it up or bringing it down, just check it out. It takes a second, okay? All right, so that's, like I said, I want to thank you for buying your trailer at National RV here. Make sure you inspect the seals on the trailer and take care of it. And this has to be winterized in the fall. It's a very simple plumbing system, so you can treat it like you can winterize it like you choose to do. I would just run antifreeze through it, but it's it's up to you how you do it. But it has to be winterized, okay? Okay, thank you very much.